Spider-Man is working for Norman Osborn, his longtime enemy, the Green Goblin. Today, Norman called him for a job. One of his trucks has been hijacked and it's heading towards Peter. Parker jumps, yelling at Norman for putting trackers in his suit, but Norman hasn't. He just knows Peter's schedule well enough to guess where he'll be. Now that his doubts have been dealt with, Peter suits up in a new high-tech costume, complete with a glowing chest insignia. He's even got a robot buddy now, Bug, courtesy of Oscorp. Since the little guy can fly, Peter sends him on ahead, trusting the bot to help stabilize things before he can get there. The police are in hot pursuit of the stolen Oscorp truck, yelling at it to pull over. The robbers aren't going quietly though. They open fire from the back with laser guns, almost sending the police off the road. Thankfully, Bugs arrived just in time. The little drone latches onto the roof of the stolen vehicle, shorting it out with a quick EMP. The robbers have lost control of steering. Unfortunately, the brakes have gone too, so now the truck is heading right towards an innocent mother and daughter. Thankfully, Spider-Man is here. Peter lifts the pair off the ground with one simple motion, even as the truck crashes into the sidewalk. In no time flat, Spidey has the pair of bystanders back on the ground safe and sound, taking a second to reassure the kid before heading off. The mom calls out to the hero to kick some robber butt. Her daughter's shocked at the language, but old Webhead's happy to oblige, swinging up high and yelling at the thugs to fire at him. The crowd's getting hyped up, people calling their friends to come watch the superhero fight. That kind of defeats the point of what Spider-Man was trying to do, give them a chance to run. But the people aren't worried. "You're Spidey! You've got this!" Kid's got a point. The thugs aren't happy with this level of trash talk, yelling at Spider-Man that they're not going down that easy. Peter, indignant, points out that they said his name wrong. It's supposed to have a hyphen in it, Spider-Man. Trying to make sure the thugs remember to get his name right next time, Spidey has a little song for them, starting to sing as he lays into the crooks. Hyphen man, does whatever a hyphen can. He throws one of the robbers into another before mixing things up with his webs and fists. Joins a word with a line to another and combines two words. Like my name, Spider-Man. The crowd claps and cheers to victory. In no time, Spidey's got the thugs webbed up and is calling the cops. But he didn't even need to bother. They've been watching a bystander's live stream the entire time. Bug gives a tip to the street musicians who'd backed up Peter's song. But while all this seems happy, a sinister figure is watching Peter from far away. Hidden in Loom World, Shathra the Wasp Queen is almost ready to make her final move. She's tracking, killing, and turning other Spider-Men into her minions. One of them is with her now, Peter's daughter Annie Mae Parker, formerly the hero Spiderling. Now she's Shathra's minion, Nestling. At the Wasp Queen's command, this twisted hero opens a portal to Universe 616, the prime reality of the Marvel multiverse, ready to finally begin a true invasion. It's time for the entire Spider-Verse to finally fall. In another world, one of simpler colors, a few more spiders have made a spider sanctuary. Anya Corazon, the hero Araña, can sense Shathra opening up this new portal. She can tell that the Wasp Queen is targeting Universe's 616's Peter Parker. Julia Carpenter, the new Madam Web, has identified that this specific Peter is the only hope for the Spider-Verse, even calling him the Chosen One. She's sending out an order to every spider person in the 616 universe, trying to rally them together to protect Peter. The three heroes consider sending in other Spider-Men from across the universe, but Zarina Zahari, newly minted Spider UK, writes that off. The regular spiders aren't up to this. They're going to have to send their most powerful agent to back Spidey up. Back in the 616, Peter's been signing autographs, taking selfies, and letting kids play with the bug. Norman calls him, asking Spidey to try and get the van sent to Oscorp rather than let it get impounded by the police as evidence. Before Peter can deal with that, however, his spider sense triggers. Looking up, he has to end the call with Norman. Something crazy has just happened. Shathra's portal just opened up and a massive swarm of buzzing wasps are descending on New York. It's a full-blown plague and the crowd are already panicking. Spider-Man tries to yell for the crowd to run, but he's already too late. The wasps are everywhere, stinging people left and right. The thugs Spidey just got done fighting beg him for help. Although Peter doesn't know what's going on here, he still frees the robbers, not wanting to let them get eaten alive, at least. He just leaves the group with a warning not to make him regret this. Now that he's done dealing with them, Spidey takes a closer look at one of the creatures. It's a spider wasp, but not one of any kind he's ever seen. Spider-Man almost remembers something similar, but before he can work it out, he's interrupted. A new figure arrives on the street, stepping through a glowing golden portal. This is Morlun the Inheritor, part of an interdimensional vampire family that prey on Spider-Man. He's an extremely powerful foe, even having killed Peter Parker once before. Still today, he's in casual mode. He greets Spider-Man like this is no big deal, openly referring to him as Parker. Spidey immediately assumes this explains everything. Morlun must be behind this swarm of wasps. Before the vampire can even move, Spider-Man starts punching him again and again, hitting his old foe from every angle. Peter is worried. Even a second's hesitation will be enough for the inheritor to kill him. Morlun tries to talk to his foe, but Peter is not listening.
Cease this at once. Enough.
Finally pushed too far, Morlun hits back with a slap. His strength is so great, Spidey compares it to taking a hit from the Hulk. He can't take another hit like that. Thankfully, Bug, the little robot, jumps onto Morlun, giving him a powerful shock. Spidey calls out to his pal, trying to encourage the bot, but it's no use. Morlun rips Bug off of him like it's nothing and crushes the bot between his hands. He's about to start trying to talk to Peter again, but before he can, the interdimensional vampire gets a mouthful of web. He just wrecked Peter's partner. He doesn't get to talk. Spidey's back to trying to pulverize Morlun, giving it everything he has. Blow after blow connect with the spider-eating super vampire. Peter's glove begin to fray and break from the sheer strain he's putting on them. But by the time he's done, nothing has changed. Morlun's looking down at him, hands on his hips, looking annoyed that Spider-Man's wasting his time like this. Spidey's starting to despair that there's nothing he can do here. Now that Peter's tired himself out, Morlun grabs him by the torso and slams the spider right into the ground. There's enough strength in his blow to crack the asphalt. Morlun doesn't let go though, instead hefting Spidey back up and throwing him across the street. Peter hits a taxi hard, crumpling the door. Even his glass rains down on him, Spidey's back up on his feet, lunging at Morlun. He jukes around the vampire's first swing, but it's not enough. Morlun hits him in the back of the head once, then twice. Peter's technologically advanced mask breaks apart, unable to hold together from the force of these titanic blows. Finally, with an almost dismissive roundhouse blow, Morlun knocks him back to the ground. Peter's left in the wreckage of the taxi. He's groggy, barely conscious, and all his suit tech is down. But he's not worried. He's got something better. Before Morlun can land another blow, he's hit by a web line from his right side, holding his fist back. A second later, another web comes from his left, catching his remaining hand. Miles Morales, Peter's fellow Spider-Man, has joined the fight. So has Cindy Moon, a lesser-known spider who goes by Silk. The pair have Morlun restrained, but Peter yells at them to run. He's convinced even their combined strength won't be enough to stop the inheritor. This guy has fought off half the Spider-Verse in the past. But it's not just these three. Jessica Drew, the 616's spectacular Spider-Woman, joins the fight with the strongest venom blast she's got, knocking Morlun back and telling the other spiders to keep Peter safe. She's already charging up for a second bolt from Morlun, happy to keep the super vampire busy. Meanwhile, Peter's confused at how everyone knew he needed them. Cindy and Miles say that a voice in their head told them to come here, and that's enough for Peter to put the pieces together. Portals, Morlun, spiders coming together? We're doing a Spider-Verse again, aren't we? Wow, you kiss Aunt May with that mouth? Silk's not in the mood to join in with the wisecracks. She's angry. Morlun forced her to spend half her life in hiding. He took everything from her. Silk hates him like no one else. One of the spider wasps stings Cindy, and that's the last straw. She jumps forward, joining Jess in the fight. Miles is worried about her, but takes a second to check in on Peter before swinging in to help. Cindy and Miles both land kicks on Morlun at once, but Jess is worried. They're going to need more than this to take out the inheritor. A new web portal opens up, and from it comes a familiar trench coat wearing figure. Hey, what gives? You crumbs think you can throw this shindig without me? That's right, it's Spider-Man Noir ready to help. Spidey is still a bit groggy, but he is happy for the assist. He asks Noir if other friends are coming to help. The darker Spidey tells him not to bet on it, but that's fine with Jess and Miles. They're fighting an almost unbeatable villain. They'll take any backup they can get. Peter's still convinced something is wrong though. One of the wasps stings him on the cheek, and as his eyes water, he sees it. Spider-Man Noir's pulled out a strange weapon, some kind of ritualistic knife. Truth is, outside this joint, you're all out of friends. In fact, before anyone can react, Noir grabs Jessica Drew. Peter screams out no, finally having put the pieces together, but he's just seconds too late. Noir pulls Spider-Woman back by her hair and stabs her right in the gut with a sickening, gory...
Sorry, Drew. You deserve better than this, but that's Spider-Verse for you.
Miles and Silk both look away from Morlun, horrified by what just happened. Peter's finally back on his feet, right there with her, asking if Jess is okay. Strangely, there is no blood from the wound. For a second, she seems fine. But as the traitorous Spider-Man Noir puts it, she hasn't been cut, she's been severed from the web of life. The magic of the blade reveals itself as Jessica starts to dissolve into threads, screaming out as she's unraveling. She can feel everything she's done in life just fading away, even as the Spider-Men stand there powerless to help her. In her last moments, Jess thinks of her son, Jerry, worrying that this may have killed him too. If she never existed, what happens to him? There's no answer. Spider-Woman is just gone a second later. Peter's left holding a pile of thread that once had been the hero Jessica drew. Over in the Spider Sanctuary, Julia is watching through some kind of web-based view screen. She's yelling at Peter to get up even as Spider-Man Noir charges at him, knife raised. Spider UK is worried that their chosen one is about to get taken out just like Jess, but Julia's confident he isn't. Even if Peter's off his game, they've already sent him all the help he needs. And yes, before Noir can stab Pete, it's Morlun who punches him away. The inheritor lost none of his strength, knocking Spider-Man Noir's hat off, though the villainous Spidey still keeps hold of the knife. Morlun?
Yes, if you had but just given me a chance to speak, I would have told you your Spider-Verse has fallen, and I've been sent to aid you in a war against a threat even greater than the inheritors.
Miles asks who that could even be. It's Spider-Man Noir who answers while he's putting his hat back on his head. The other Pete's face is now twisted and monstrous, complete with fangs and mandibles. This time, according to him, the Spider-Men are up against someone higher on the food chain than Morlun and his family. More blue portals open up behind the twisted Spider Noir as the remaining spiders of 616 finally come together. Noir has an ultimatum for Peter, Cindy, and Miles. They've all been stung by the Wasps. They can either join him as creepy bug monsters, or they'll get severed from existence like Jess. Miles immediately turns that idea down, but Noir is not worried. Everyone says that at first.
But in the end, they come around. Remember what I said before, how you were all out of friends? I lied. They're all here. They're just your enemies now.
Spider-Wasp Noir laughs as his backup jumps in. Spider-Punk, Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Girl all twisted into wasp monsters just like him. The spiders are shocked to see their friends all turned into monsters like this. The Wasps try to talk their former friends into joining them, but when that doesn't work, Wasp Noir orders his squad to attack. Peter only just manages to dodge Noir, who's coming at him with the same blade he used to kill Jess Drew. Silk's reluctant to hit Gwen, not wanting to fight her friends. Morlun, on the other hand, isn't so restrained.
What? This is how one is supposed to treat the enemy.
Not willing to accept this, Silk jumps away from Gwen and kicks Morlun, knocking the waspified Spider-Girl out of his clutches. The vampire snarls at her for that, but Silk's defiant. She will not let him kill her friends. That won't stop Gwen and Mayday and the other Wasps from trying to kill the spiders. The two sides are evenly matched, Peter and Miles continuing to dodge their enemies' attacks. Thankfully, now they've got reinforcements. Aranya, the mystical Spider-Girl, has arrived via a golden web portal and throws out a webs of Watum to help protect Peter. A new Spider UK follows behind Aranya, calling the heroes to follow her through the portal. Miles is happy with that, kicking Wasp Hobie in the jaw as he rushes to the portal. Morland's right behind him, but Peter hesitates. That knife Noir used is powerful. They should try to get rid of it. For now, though, Aranya confirms they're good. The Wasps won't be able to follow her through this next portal. They've ended up in Earth 616 Beta, a test universe that's not part of the Great Web. The heroes aren't doing great. Miles and Silk are starting to forget Jess now that the blade removed her from existence. Morland's happily reminiscing about his past slaughtering spider totems. Everyone is tense, but Anya throws open the door to the church where their new friends are hiding out. 5 spiders they don't recognize, and 1 literal spider. Still, the spiders are friendly. Miles recognizes one as a Craven, in this case Sergei Kravenov, the hunter spider who is excited to take down the wasp beasts. Next up is Princess Petra, the singing princess spinstress, and her animal friend Webster. Petra's so excited to get to sing, she starts taking over the introductions for Fashion Forward, Webweaver, and the more reserved Sun Spider. Nope, the end. Numbers over. The last member of the group's cat burglar Felicia Hardy, here going by Night Spider. Peter's disappointed she's not a straight-up hero, and her stealing his utility belt doesn't help. Spidey's not impressed with most of these newbies, but thinking back, he remembers Sun Spider. They worked together before, and she was pretty cool then. as is the final member of this group, Julia Carpenter, the new Madam Web. She can see the future, and she's not looking too happy about it. She outlines the situation to Team Spider. Shathra's wasps transform any spider totem into a wasp drone, but some people are immune, mostly spiders from Earth 616. As such, the Wasp Queen's planning to use that totem blade to wipe them all out. But they've got a secret weapon, Peter Parker. Julia and friends are convinced he's the chosen one, the Peter Parker of the Primal Strand, and can save the whole Spider-Verse. Right. Can you all give me a sec? I need to confer with my Primal Strand buddies first. Be right back. Pete, Silk, and Miles are not sold on this. Still, now they've got a second, Cindy patches up Peter's costume. Webweaver's a little offended they didn't ask him since he's a fashion designer, but Pete's focused on Morlun. He wants to know what's pushed the villain onto Team Spider. Morlan's annoyed at this, thinking it's a distraction from their fight against Shathra, but he'll explain. He went to Loom World to center the Great Web, trying to find the other inheritors. They were supposed to be innocent babies left in the care of Spider Aunt May, but Shathra turned the nanny spider into a wasp. She ate them all. Morlun rampaged through Shathra's forces and raged at the loss of his family. He eventually reached the Wasp Queen herself. The fight went badly. Shathra laughed at the vampire. His inheritors were just frauds stealing spider life force to make Loom World acknowledge them. At this point, Morlun has eaten so many totems, he's just another spider, and Shathra is ready to slam him into the ground. But Morlun ran and joined forces with his former prey. Hunter Spider was in a great mood after hearing the story. With an inheritor and a chosen one, they can't lose. Peter's not convinced they have enough teammates to win this war though, hoping to find some more spiders to back them up. Oh no. Morlun's infuriated at Pete's short-sightedness. These spiders are all the ones they could save, and even those aren't all doing great. Miles is infected by the wasp bite. Only these few spiders are left, and now Shathra and a whole multiverse of wasps can see them. Naturally, Morlan's first response to Miles turning into a wasp creature is to try and kill him. Peter objects, but unfortunately the other spiders are on Morlan's side. Miles just became a massive risk to all of them. Webweaver and Spinstress just want to knock him out, but Morlun insists letting the younger Spider-Man live will bring Shathra's entire hive down on them. Ultimately, a venom blast ends the fight. Miles isn't mind-controlled yet, but he gets where the others are coming from. He's not going to stay, instead he's heading to Loom World, trying to do some damage to Shathra in her headquarters and keep her distracted. Hunter Spider's hyped up by that, volunteering to join Miles on this hunt of a lifetime. They're already down 2 spiders. Julia sighs, but gets back to explaining things. Shathra's gained control of the Web of Life and Destiny, a multiversal construct that connects all the spiders. But between Aranya's magic and Spider UK's portal science, they've got a plan to purify it and free all the spiders. Unfortunately, this wouldn't include Jessica Drew, but Aranya's got an idea that might help save her too. There's a hidden temple with a golden spider that can restore lost threads. If they get inside and steal it, they'll have a chance to revive Jess. A certain cat burglar is suddenly looking very smug. Night Spider, will you please join us? Pete insists they try this plan. He, Felicia, and Aranya will hit the temple and bring back the golden spider. UK tries to object, they need Aranya and her magic here, but Peter insists they won't even notice she's gone. Now there are 5 spiders down, cut in half. And that's given Morlun an idea. If he gets the dagger and stabs Shathra, this whole event will be undone. He opens up a portal to go take it from Spider-Man Noir. Silk, Spinstress, Sun Spider, and Webweaver follow him to make sure Morlun doesn't kill Noir. Now Madam Web and Spider UK are entirely out of backup and have no one to help them with the actual plan to save the Spider-Verse. This is going well. Peter's team reached the secret temple. It's supposed to be dedicated to Neith, a goddess of spiders and destiny. Pete and Aranya argue a little about the historical origin of the temple before letting Night Spider start doing her own thing. She hits the first switch with her web and sends a rain of arrows right at Anya and Peter. She's still not good at working with other people. She's going to get us killed, isn't she? The wasp spiders trapped on Earth 616 are still there and getting bored. They're excited to finally see a portal open, but surprised to see Morlun jump out at them, ready to slay Noir. The energy vampire tackles his foe to the ground, only prevented from slaying him because of the other wasps. That gave Silk and her team enough time to catch up. But before the team can join the fight, one of the wasps stings Spinstress. Now Shathra has full knowledge of everything her enemies have planned. Oh dear. The temple raiding party are making good progress. Now they're walking on the ceiling away from the traps. Eventually they run into some spikes that are still a threat, but Peter reminds his friends that they all have spider strength. Together they break through the wall, avoiding the trap entirely. They've made it to the temple. There's a statue of Neith and the golden spider right in her hand. Night Spider has this down, using a web ball to keep any traps in place while they retrieve the spider. But that's when Shathra's portals open and a massive flood of wasp monsters pour right on top of the 3 spiders. The fight back on Earth 616 is going badly. Silk's team has managed to stop Morlun from killing Noir, but Petra's fully turned wasp now. She opens a portal for the remaining wasps, letting everyone but Noir escape the fight. The spiders are horrified at one of their own becoming a monster. Morlun, however, doesn't care. He just wants the dagger, his one plan to end Shathra. Unfortunately, he's too late. Spider-Man Noir's scabbard is empty. One of the other wasps took it through the portal. Back in the temple, Peter, Anya, and Night Spider are getting overwhelmed by the sheer numbers of the wasps. Making it worse, the 3616 wasps have jumped in to join on the fun. Felicia's managed to hang on to the golden spider for now, but one quick lunge from Wasp Hobie shatters the idol. This whole trip to the temple just became pointless. Aranya's started to lose hope, but Peter reassures her. We'll come up with something else. We always do. Just have a little faith, okay? Remember, you're talking to the Chosen One. As long as I'm around, we can't lose. And that's when Wasp Gwen stabs Peter right in the chest with a totem dagger. This isn't supposed to happen, but I can't. I don't feel anything. It's like everything I ever was, all those people I ever saved, will they be okay? I'm sorry. And just like that, Peter Parker is no more. He never was. So what happens in a world where Spider-Man never existed? Lucky for you, we've got that covered already.